Judi Dench plays my mother in this film, and she was a very powerful force in J. Edgar Hoover's real life. She influenced a lot of his decisions politically, influenced his ambition, fueled his ambition, was this sort of rock-solid moral high ground that he constantly went to in times of despair and confusion. And he always turned to advice for his mother, and she drove him politically. I think that she was almost like a stage mom in a lot of respects, but in Washington, she wanted her young son to carry on the Hoover name to great prominence and great power in Washington. He was almost obsessive, compulsive, compounded by being a germaphobe in the way he wanted his G-men to look. I mean, these were straight-laced FBI men. They needed to have a certain amount of hair on their head. They needed to have a certain stature, be muscular, clean-shaven. They needed to wear suits. They needed to have college education. And they needed to speak with a certain directness and be able to handle themselves almost like young politicians. He changed the entire face of the police force in the United States. He developed an army of these men that still to this day remain an incredible mystery to the general public. We don't know how they operate or what they do behind closed doors, but you know that they're omnipresent. You know that they're always there doing their job and investigating you behind closed doors. So he created a federal police force, and a police force that to this day is argued to be the best and greatest of all time, the most highly organized and the most efficient. An incredible exuberance and a diligence and that same work ethic, you know. She has it. I mean, Naomi Watts is an incredible actress that has that on her own, but you could see that in Helen Gandy, too. Entirely focused, always professional. If there were ever any moments of vulnerability on Hoover's part, she was there to be his rock, and he knew that he could rely on her. And so she may be the only person that he was truly, truly vulnerable with, you know. Besides his mother, she was the female force in his life. His process is impeccable because he trusts his own instincts and he trusts his gut, and he's one man standing there with a monitor looking at you as an actor and seeing if he likes as an individual what he sees up on screen, and he trusts that. And that's a pretty incredible thing to have by your side. This is an incredibly important American figure to take on, and so we needed the immense amount of research that Lance had done beforehand, and I think he needed my interpretation of how I was going to put that up on screen, and sort of the tone of how we were going to reflect this man's life that, you know, goes historically through so many different eras in American history, and takes on so many different important events. How to humanize that, and of course Clint really partnered up with both of us and really asked for our input and really wanted to make this a collaboration. You know, this is my first movie with him, so this is the only experience I have with him, and that was one of, you know, real trust amongst fellow artists and real trust that we all had the same intent and the same purpose, which is to make the best possible movie. And so he gave me everything that I needed and more.